if Bob's information stored in an associative array named Bob. True. Bob has a property called first name. Also true, which has a value of Bob. Similarly, it has properties last names, phone number, and email, which each have values. To access the values for each property, we write array.property. Check out line 8, where we log to console bob.firstname, as they so indicated. Yes, true. These are facts. Instructions. Copy the format we used on line 8. Fill in lines 9 and 10 so that Bob's last name and email are printed out. Last name. That's Bab. That's Bob. Post-op. Babs. Bob.last name. And Bob.email. Bob.email. That just it? That is all she wrote. We'll gander at the hint. Yeah, nothing special. Okay, save and submit. 1 check mark down. Also, today may be a shorter stream as well. So that's, that's a thing. That is a thing. Side note, who's still playing Breath of the Wild? That game just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Holy hell. Finally made it to the northeast region. Dear God. Took forever exploring that area. Anywho. Next lesson. 2 of 6. More people. More people. Just like with strings and numbers, we can put multiple objects into an array. We want to practice extracting information from different objects which are stored in the same array. This allows us to put all of our contact objects into a unified list. If the objects are contact entries, then the list is the book binding all the ties of the contact entries together. Bob. First, last, phone number, email. Create an object called Mary. Has the same properties as Bob. Her name is Mary Johnson. Phone number is blah. Emails are blah. Create an array called contacts. Put Bob in first at 0 index, then Mary at index 1. Write console log statement that prints out Mary's phone number. Okay, let's do this. Go time. We've got variable Mary. Beautiful, beautiful. First name. We really could have just copied the stuff from above, but I feel like I need the practice. Bob. Literal notation. Love literal notation. Last. Helms. Oh God, we're putting in Bob's info. Bad Steven. Bad Steven. Mary. Which we really didn't need to copy Mary, but whatever. Johnson. Phone number. Number. Oh God, oh God, oh God, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Comma, and then email. Nice. Okay, so all 4 and even phone number was in quote. Oh, because they had the weird, additional punctuation, parentheses, and the hyphen. Beautiful, beautiful. So that's that. Let's get her phone number because we can do that. Mary Johnson at lies.com. Typical. Good. Why is there beef here? There is beef? Yes? Too much beef? Oh, no comma on that guy. There we go. All is well in the universe again. No error codes. Love it. Okay. Create an array called a contacts. We do variable. Contacts equals, and arrays or brackets. I think that's about as much magic as they get. We can do a semicolon. We do Bob as the first one, then Mary. And then they just want a console log. Console log something or other. We do console log. Damn. We needed to call Mary via the console log. Contact 1 dot phone number. Jesus. Contact array. One, since Bob is index 0, Mary is the second one, which is index 1, dot phone number. This is not confidence inspiring. Save and submit. Death! Well, interesting. Why did it spit out her phone number anyways? Did you remember to create an array called contacts? You slimy son of a unloved. Let's see if you get food tonight. You don't deserve dinner. You typo generating son of a... Oh, look at that, beautiful. The S fixed everything. Okay, party over. On to section 3. Next lesson. Displaying people. Yeah, good. Good. Something about people. Displaying people. We currently can print out information about any person in our What's that, little cat? Hey, look at you. Who's sleepy? Hey, I can feel your paw on my leg. Don't claw me. Tiny feline. Sucking up all the good air. Displaying people. We currently can print out information about any person in our contacts with console log. That gets tiring. If we only knew some code that stores blocks of code that we can call. Good thing we know about functions. We can create a function that consistently displays a specific property of an object. Instructions. Define a function called printPerson that takes a parameter called person. In the body function, print out the person's parameters first name. Oh, we're already gonna have to read through the instructions. Property by accessing it with just with a dot just like before, then print a space and then their last name in the same way. Call the printPerson function, print out the first name in the contacts array. First item is an array at position 0. Then on the next line, call printPerson again, print out second item in the contacts array. Don't worry about your output appears twice. We're just double checking your code. Here's how to define a function. Here's how to print a person's name, last name, dot, space, blah, beautiful, great. Yeah, we knew that. Here's how we print second name. Same old song and dance. Since items in an array are numbered starting from position 0, the set, yes, good. Okay, no help there. Awesome, love it. Instructions. from the top. This is soul crushing. Instructions. Define a function called printPerson that takes a parameter called person. Here we go. Let me get functiony. We've got Bob, Mary, our contacts array, and now we are doing our printPerson function. Variable print person equals function. How's that feel? Good? Bad? Faster? This is concerning. I think that's fine. That's fine. That's normal. Variable, printPerson, function. Bleh. Oh, it will be for person, right? They said something about, yeah, that takes parameter called person. Cool. In the function body, print out parameter, person parameters, first name property by accessing it with just a dot like before, then print a space in their last name in the same way. So console log we're gonna have our person dot first name, we're just building the skeleton, plus our empty space plus and then person dot last name. Okay, now we'll make that pretty. All right. What's going on? Why JavaScript? Because I started, hold the phone just a second. That's a good question. Person dot first name, right? And person dot last name. Wait, keep the dot, last name. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. So why JavaScript? I actually got this question yesterday. I didn't just roll out of bed this morning going, hey, let's get me some JavaScript. I don't think anyone does that. I decided, long story short, I think I'm getting better at telling the short version of this. My computer sucks. It's old. I've got an awesome capture card. I've got the Elgato HD60S, but because my sucky computer, I can't use the capture card because I just like dove into streaming. So yeah, that plan didn't really work out. So now I needed to find something that I could stream daily, and I decided to stream me learning to code in the meantime until I can get a better computer. I've got my Xbox and I can stream directly through my Xbox One, but why did that not load what I wanted? Here we go. So now I'm conquering Codecademy, and this is day 87. So currently, after 87 days of going through HTML and CSS, then the intro to Java course and CSS and blah, and deploying a website, Python, there's a patch of binary in Python, and binary is absolute hell. Word of the wise. Keep that in mind. So yeah, now I've been here at JavaScript for the last couple days, and I'm almost all the way through it. And then starting in the next day or two, I will be tackling jQuery. So yeah, good times, and then proceeding on through the rest of this nightmare that is Codecademy. After that, probably free code camp. It's just a side project. Again, it's something for me to do to kill time, to stream as much as I can till I can get a better computer. But yeah, will you combine it with HTML and CSS? Yes and no. At the end of Codecademy, I know I should be doing it during working on side projects to better perfect my abilities, but I'm just going through Codecademy and following the different courses and classes they have and stuff like that. So yeah, welcome to my nightmare. Leon Do, one of those. We're gonna go with Leon. But yeah, so now we're doing an address bar. Hey, Pistachio! What do you want to do? Do you like doing this? You're more likely getting confused and actually learning something useful beyond basic programming ideas. Are you understanding it though, or are you just breezing through it just to do it? Do you want to make a website? Do you want to make apps? A little bit. That's the kind of the thing right now. I don't actually have like a set goal. The goal right now is basically to conquer Codecademy and to really learn the general ideas. I wanted to have a better understanding of all of these, you know, just having a general interest in technology and other things like that. You hear about the different program languages that different softwares use, you know, whether it's an app you're using or a website you visit, different things you hear of Python and JavaScript and Ruby. And before coming here, I didn't really know like the differences between them. Obviously for Ruby, still no clue how the hell Ruby works. There's like cards or Ruby on Rails or like, I don't know, you hear general terms and it sounded interesting, but I haven't gotten there. So it's just been kind of a general learning experience. That's also why I haven't been blowing through this as quickly as possible. I've been enjoying seeping in all the general kind of ideas and stuff, like HTML and CSS, especially here at Codecademy. It's a lot of the same lessons, and I've basically done HTML and CSS like 3 or 4 times already. There's HTML and CSS, there's make a website, deploy a website, and then they're more in-depth HTML and CSS course. A lot of them shared the same content, but HTML and CSS are such a large part of, you know, coding, so I don't mind doing that same stuff over and over. I don't mind mastering the introduction foundational concepts. Like jQuery, React.js, Angular that are coming up are very opinionated libraries built on JavaScript, so my suggestion is skip those. It's possible. It's just that kind of throws off the conquer Codecademy goal that I've got in general. Plus, I don't mind learning stuff that's going to be not necessarily obsolete. That does sound kind of wasteful, but like PHP, I know they're going to be sunsetting PHP, and I have no idea what the hell PHP is. I heard it's terrible from some. It's decent from others, but basically it sounds like that it's just really no longer being utilized, and it's kind of fading into existence. So point being is that I kind of want to learn what it was before it's gone. See, PHP is great. See, I'm hearing all kinds of stuff. So I don't know, and that's kind of why I want to go through. And I also wanted to see, as far as side projects, I wanted to take as many different languages and like combine them into a giant side project as possible. I realize some languages won't work together in similar apps, software, side projects, whatever, so I may need to have 2 or 3 larger ones, but yeah, that's that. We really got on a tangent here, so. PHP runs 70% of the internet. Don't believe those people. Facebook is built on PHP. Good to know. Well, yes, that's it. They've got that little blurb in their course description. Sites like Facebook. Good times. So, yeah. No, I'm definitely, and to touch back on Nate's question, am I understanding it? Yeah, no, I definitely, it's seeping in. The confusion, it's our friend. I like the learning process. That's the other thing, is I don't mind going through all of these and relearning the same thing over and over. All it shows me, just like HTML and CSS, if they have it in here 4 times, I know it's kind of basic, but that just kind of shows the importance or how much it's used. So, if that makes sense. But yeah, back to our activity. Good times. Good times. We were displaying people. We made it to what? 3? Call print person. Okay. So wait, 2. In the function body, print out the person parameter's first name property by accessing it with a dot just like before, then print a space, and their last name in the same way. Call the print person function to print out the first item in the contacts array. The first item in an array is at the 0 or is at position 0, yes. Then on the next line, call print person again. Whoa. 3. Call the print person function. You got it. Print person, copy. To print out the first item in the contacts array. Here we go. 0. Boom. Call print person. No, that was 3. Now on 4, then on the next line, call print person again to print out the second. Okay, so you again. There we go. There we go. Baby steps. Don't worry if your output appears twice. We're just double checking your code. Fire away. Oh god, we broke the internet. Oh, it's because I didn't do contact, you slimy son of a... God. It's okay. Happy thoughts. We got confused. We went on our Codecademy course tangent and lost our train of thought. That is alright. Thank God we're not typing on some major corporate server and destroying some company. That would be bad. We've got Bob Jones and unidentified Johnson. Looks like your function didn't log Mary Johnson. Did you remember to call your function on Mary? I'd hope so. Why did it work for Bob? Not her. I feel like there's very little to go wrong here. Variable Bob, first name, last name, phone number. They provided all that. I provided this. Last name. Hold on. Oh, gotcha. I'm a crazy person. That's why. No. We were looking at the array. We actually need to call the person. Damn it. Okay. So we're going to be doing... What are we going to be doing? We're going to be doing... Contacts was the array. Not our function. So we've got print person. We're throwing in that person dot first name. So I need to have... No, my array 1. Son of a... That was right. Did we forget the S again? Contacts 1. Contacts. 0, then 1. Chasing our tail. There we go. All better. Stachio, you were typing contact, not contacts. Yeah, the S. It got me on the last page as well. Damn. Alright. So there's that. Listing everybody. Address book programs usually have a screen that lists all the contacts. Let's build that feature. We could write out separate lines of code and display all the people like in the last exercise, but that's tedious. Instead, we can use a for loop to do this automatically. We'll be creating a function that lists all the users. 1. Create a function called list that does not take any parameters. 2. At the start of the function, define a variable to store the number of the items in the contacts array. Call it contacts length. All of the items in an array are numbered starting at 0 to cycle through all the elements in the array. Create a for loop, cycle 0 to up to 1 less than up to 1 less than the number of the items in the contacts array. Okay. Inside the loop, add a code called print person, passing in the element of the array that the loop is currently at the very bottom of the file. Call the list function. The list function should then loop through every member of the contacts array and print its information. We'll crack open their hint. If you need a review of how to use for loops, click here. Remember, array.length property for getting the array length. The number of items in an array can be determined with array length. To cycle the one less, to cycle to one less than a number in a for loop, you can use the less than operator. In the second loop parameter, for loops have a number that is incremented. You can get the array item that is the number with the array. Okay, cool. Are you on a Mac? Yes, I am on a Mac. I'm on an old 2011 Mac Mini. And it's an older, it was the first year they added dual core, the dual core i5s, and for me to use my Elgato HD 60S that I have, I need a quad core i5 or better. So, yeah. Brutal. So close, yet so far away. But it's my little dual cores just good enough for it to struggle streaming me learning Codecademy. So, making most with what I have. Okay, here we go. We are going to look at the instructions. From the top, we'll be creating a list. We'll be creating a function that lists all the users. Create a function called lists that doesn't take any parameters. Doesn't take shit from nobody. Variable lists. Lists? Plural, singular. Equals function. No parameter. At the start of the function, define a variable to store the number of items in the contacts array. Call it contact length. Variable contacts plural length. So what's happening? At the start of the function, define a variable to store the number of items in the contacts array. Call it contacts. Okay, so just contacts dot length, right? Yeah, good enough for me. Let's do a semicolon. 3. All of the items in an array are numbered starting at 0. To cycle through all the elements of an array, create a for loop that cycles from 0 up to 1 less than the number of items in the contacts array. So we're going to do variable blah for condition do this. For variable I equals, starting at 0, I less than 1, and I plus plus. And it will do something in the contacts array. No, it needs to be contact dot for I less than contact dot length I plus plus. Inside the loop, add a code called print person, passing in the element of the array that the loop is currently at. So print person I, print person contacts I. Does that seem relatively? We'll find out. Trial by fire. At the very bottom of the file, call the list function. The list function should then loop through every member of contacts array and print out its information. So, list. Yes, empty. Empty or other? We'll see. Let's go now. Are you want to make? You'd be better off using the easier way of declaring JavaScript function my name parentheses. No need to declare it as a variable. What you are doing now is an anonymous function, which is only done for specific reasons. An anonymous function is a function that was declared without any named identifier to refer to it, such as an anonymous function is usually not accessible after its initial creation. Note that the variable list is not the name of the function, but rather an assignment. That's the variable list, okay, is not the name of the function, but rather an assignment. Ah, gotcha. Then we will, let me just hit the save and submit to save the work. So if we don't do that, then if I have to back up or go to a different section, it clears everything. Hey, look at that. Green check mark. Awesome. But oh, is in just writing, like, so just to double check to make sure I understand, we'll do it above. Are you saying instead of variable list, something like variable, where'd you have it? Function, my function name, function, list, like so? Is that what you were saying? Line 25, if you can see that. I mean, oh, the print person function. Right. Now, are you talking about line 28 where I reference print person within the for loop, or were you talking about the actual line 17, the print person function in its entirety? 17 is the correct one. Okay, cool. They had, see, so that's the thing though, is they've got, where to go? this, okay, was that, let me back up this, and I'm sure, although this follows the same format as 17 does. They do this. This is what they show for all their, or not all, but a majority. I'm going to say like 95% of all their examples. Probably because it is that one-time use that you were describing or discussing for a lot of their examples. Although we can leave this coded out. We'll run it again. We'll get rid of the green. Fire away. Ta-da, green check mark. Way cool. Alright. Next bit. Google JavaScript anonymous functions. Noted. We will add that. For things to do. Notes. JavaScript. Anonymous. Where did our notes go? Anonymous. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, way cool. The ever-growing to-do list. Side note, just curious. There's Free Code Camp, and I think the other one's Treehouse. Have you had experience with either one of those? You have a preference? As I said, it will work, but your function is then tied to a variable, which in some cases can be useful, but it's inherently less efficient since it has to store a variable and a function and reference both in memory. Gotcha. 5 of 6. Finding that special someone. Let's say we're looking for someone in our address book with a specific last name. We can do this with a technique for searching arrays called linear search. With it, we use a loop to check through all the items in the array one by one until we see the item we want. We can apply linear search to print out all the people that have a particular last name. Okay. Instructions. We'll be creating a function that can search for people with a specific last name and print those people out with the print person function. Create a function called search that takes a parameter, last name, leave the list function alone. 2, like with the last exercise, define a variable and store the number of items in the array. Since every function has its own context or scope, you can call this variable context length 2 if you like. Create a for loop that runs through all the items in the array for this setup. The code for search is identical to that of lists. The twist comes here. In the body of the loop, rather than printing out every single item in the array, add an if statement that checks to see if the last name property of the object is equal to the last name argument. Have the function run print person on the person if and only if the last name property of the person matches the last name argument. At the bottom of the file, call the search function by passing in Jones as the last name to search for. We'll hint the instructions up a little. To get the current value of the last name parameter, you can use the dot syntax on an array item that you can, with, what now? To get the current value of the last name parameter, you can use the dot syntax on array items that you can with normal variables. Do you see this? This is where all the confusion comes from. Blatant lack of grammar. Soul crushing. Array numbers dot last name. Beautiful. I learned most of my JavaScript from just doing PHP stuff. Interesting. I actually went straight to and learned JavaScript from that. Vue.js. Interesting. Good to know. I will need to Vue.js. I'm going to add that to my list of things to check. Vue.js. Cool. ejs.org. Gotcha. Adding .org. Hold the phone. .org. Success. Alright, back to chat. Yeah, even to highlight my computer, I've also got, usually a lot of streamers have dual screens. I've got my one screen. So I've got chat on my phone. Yeah, beautiful, right? So it's a very interesting setup, but I'm trying to make it work. The beauty struggling, right? Gotta love it. Onwards. From the top, we made it through instructions, hint. We have the general idea. If you see stuff like React, Angular, jQuery, Vue, EJS is another library, but built to be fairly unopinionated. It's also much faster and easier to use than all the other libraries. Cool. All right. We are birthing a function named search. Create a search function, then call it passing Jones. Oh, Vue.js. Vue.js, gotcha. Spelling it out like a cat. See, we're at the very beginning of the learning curve. Also, as I've mentioned before, day 87, it's not day 87 of JavaScript. This is like day 6 of JavaScript, right? Because I keep going through all these different classes and restarting from basically square zero. All right. Fortunately, there are a good handful of commonalities and similar things regarding syntax and whatnot, but all right. Anywho, onwards, searching function. Search. What is our parameter that we are throwing in? It is instructions. We'll be creating a function that can search for people with specific last name and print those people out with print person function. Create a function called search that takes a parameter called last name. Leave the list function alone. List function, sit. Like with the last exercise, define a variable and store the number of items in the array in it. What? Since every function has its own context or scope, you can call this variable context length 2 if you'd like. I think I'm just going to take the same one. Is that what they wanted? Kind of sounds like that's what they want. Sounds like they want the same exact contact length thing. Create a for loop that runs through all the items in the array. For this step, code for search is identical to that of list. So it's the same exact thing? For loop. Oh, right. The code for the for loop is the exact same. Yeah, gotcha. But we're gonna have a different code block inside, huh? There we go. That makes sense. But let's get rid of print. Well, what can we do? We are gonna have print person to some degree. Let's see what we get. Create a for loop that runs through the items. For this step, the code for search is identical to that of list. Okay. So 2 for 2 is for the same as above. The twist comes here. In the body of the loop, rather than printing out every single item in the array, add an if statement that checks to see if the last name property of the object is equal to the last name argument. Have the function run print person. Oh, little kitty streaming. Oh my god, she's totally like twitching out. She has no idea what's going on right now. Okay. All is well. Good, tiny kitty. Back to sleep. At least she didn't claw my thighs during this stream like yesterday's. Ridiculous cat. Have we gone over that there's a cat, there's a feline in my lap underneath the desk? Good, we're all on the same page. So if it counts for anything, here's my take on learning programming. It's rarely matters what language you learn first. Makes it a lot easier to work with. No need to reinvent the wheel. Comparatively, JavaScript is a big hot mess, and its community ecosystem is just completely mind-boggling. Vanilla JavaScript is fine, but once you start using libraries, you start pulling your hair out. Gotcha. Oh, wait, I read part 2. I read 1.1, 1.2, one of those. So if it counts for anything, here's my take on learning programming. Yeah, no. It's the drugs. I skipped the first half. You're right. From the top. So, if it counts for anything, here's my take on learning programming. It rarely matters what language you learn first. The important part is to pick a language that, one, gives you the tools to build stuff you find interesting, because learning is 90% building stuff. 2, a language that isn't too low level. Stuff like PHP and JavaScript, are especially Python, are great to learn how to code. Continuing on from where I initially jumped in, and to build on one again, PHP is very much a community-driven language. There are resources and packages for everything. It makes it a lot easier to work with. No need to reinvent the wheel. Comparatively, JavaScript is a big hot mess. Its community ecosystem is just completely mind-boggling. Vanilla JavaScript is fine, but once you start using libraries, you'll start to pull your hair out. And then continuing on, did it lag or did you skip half the first one? Yeah, that was me struggling. Readings is difficult, right? Yeah, good. Okay, so we made it to here, but now we're going to do our if. Honestly, we could probably keep that, but you know what? We're getting rid of that for now. If stuff happens, else something else happens. Shocking. Okay, here we go. The twist comes here. Dun dun dun. In the body of the loop, rather than printing out every single item in the array, add an if statement that checks to see if the last name property of the object is equal to the last name argument. So that would be if blank dot last name equals person. So what is if contacts I dot last name equals last name, or Jesus? Like I get that it's last name. If last name is equal to last name of sorts. I'm trying to figure out if it's like contacts I. Last name to whatever, right? Like this is where I'm at. This is the confusion. So something something. Okay. Let's figure this out. And so that'll be whatever. So if last name equals blank, if statement that checks to see if the last name property of the object is equal to the last name of the argument, have the function run print person on the person if and only if last name property of person matches last argument. I feel like this is really redundant. I feel like this sentence and this sentence are the same thing. Only run if it matches. I feel like they say it twice. Versus I can't tell if I need to double up on the code, like again, and else. Codecademy's instructions aren't meh. So inside the for loop, the I variable is basically the index of the contacts array you are in, right? Correct. Oh, so I do want contacts, huh? Hey, look at that, I do want contacts I. We had it in there. So if contacts I dot last name equals person dot last name, super question marks. What happens if you do contacts I? Well, then it's the number. Okay, so it's like when I call for print person contacts I, it will bring up, you know, their info in the list. It's there. The words are, I'm lacking on the words. But if it's 0, it'll be Bob. If it's Mary, it'll be 1. It's looking at the array as a length. So there's 2 elements in here, but it's index 0, so it's 0 and 1 and blah, blah, blah. So if it'll bring in that person, it'll check their whatever contacts I is, Bob or Mary, 0 or 1, it'll be that person dot last name. So it'll look for their last name and then compare. But now, yeah, okay, and you're comparing it to the parameter passed into the function. Oh, so it's just last name. Gotcha. So I'm comparing it, this guy, to last name here. Or is it search dot last name? It's either search dot last name or just last name. I'm pretty sure it's just last name because we're within the function. And it should have this. Pretty sure. Because last name is, yeah, this is the same as that. So if we had Jones, then it would be Jones here and here. And then it will check the contact 0, which is Bob, dot last name, which would be Jones. Yeah, last name is scoped to the function, yes. It's not available. Okay, all is well in the neighborhood. Children are safe. No one is currently on fire. We are moving on. I feel like it's actually just an if statement instead of an if else. At the bottom of the file, call, yeah, because they say, twist comes here, body the loop, rather than printing out every single item, add an if statement that checks to see if the last name property of the object is equal last name argument, have the function run print person, if and only if the last name, yeah, so that's it. So let's do print person contacts I, copy, have the function run print person contacts I. We'll get rid of the else because that doesn't really seem needed. And then they want us to run at the bottom of the file, call the search function passing in Jones. Here it comes. Search Jones. Last name scope to function, and as a smaller refactor, you can replace I contacts length with I less than. Oh. Interesting. Whoa, wait, okay, hold on, no. So variable contacts length, which is contacts dot length. Ah, cat, what are you doing? Ah, she's like just gnawing on my ankle just for the hell of it. Why is my ankle wet? Holy God. Okay, we're good. Gotcha. So I don't need to reference. That is a very roundabout way. I see what you're mentioning. I've got variable contacts length, which is contacts dot length, when I could just drop in contacts dot length here and just cut to the chase. That makes sense. I don't know what seat like that. Why? I don't know why they had me set up a variable didn't they have me do it again here? They had to do us in one of the last sections, which is just confusing as hell. I still question, even though I'm still learning each new category each day, I've learned enough to question Codecademy. That's what I've learned from Codecademy, is question Codecademy. Good God. Okay. Search Jones. We're good. What is wrong with this one? It doesn't like mixed spaces and tabs. Doesn't seem out of place. If blank. We're gonna leave that. Fire away. Save and submit. Green check mark. Bob Jones. Beautiful. Beautiful. Hey, little kitty, are you alive? Are you coming up, or you're just repositioning? You're good? Okay. He's good. Section 6. Finally. We made a friend. They're just trying to show you the dumb way of doing it. I mean, there are times you might need to set it as a variable, like if you want to change the length of contacts array inside the loop, but it's better to have the code as clean and as neat as possible until you need it to be more complex. I agree with that sentiment. Hey, little kitty, look at you. You are awake now. Doing cat things, clawing me, yawning, the usual. Okay, we're on section 6. Aren't you psyched? No? Okay, you don't care. You're just gonna go back to licking yourself. Whatever. Stupid feline. Alright, we made a friend. We have our address book in the contacts array. But what if we make a new friend and want to add them as well? Is this the adding stuff we were just talking, adding people to what now? Probably. Hopefully. Objects, just like the other types of data, can be something. I looked away and totally lost my track. Objects, just like other types of data, can be put into arrays with array brackets position equals object statement. To append something to the end of the array, you need to put it in the position 1 after the last item. Since arrays are numbered starting at 0, the number of the last item in the array will be 1 less than the quantity of items in the array. Okay, yeah, because of 0 index. Good, got it. The size of the array is thus the position to insert at. The length of the array, like the length of a string, can be found with array.length. We can do the insert in a succinct way by adding the new object directly into the array position without even giving it a name. This can be confusing, but we'll be able to refer to it by its array position, so it does not need a direct name. Do it like this. Contacts.length, first name, name, last name, name, phone number, number, email, email. Okay. Assuming you defined the add function with the parameters first name, last name, phone number, and email, that will automatically create a new object and add it into the array. Pretty neat. Okay, kind of. I think I get what they're saying. Let's open the hint to raise the instructions a little. We'll be creating a function that allows us to add our new friend to the address book. 1. Create a function called add with the parameters first name, last, email, phone number. In this new function, you want to create a new contact, like Bob and Mary. Instead of having this object's properties value be filled with strings, though, set them to the appropriate function parameters passed in. Add this new contact object to the contacts arrays call add with whatever first name, last name, phone number, and email arguments you like. Make sure you call the list function to check if your new entry is added, and delete any other function that logs output in the console, i.e. search function. Run the code. Hint, more specifically, an object can be added to the end of an array with array length equals object. All right, this is going to be a nightmare. Okay, here we go. We're good. One. Create a function called add. Here we go. And let's bump this up a bit. Function add first name, last name, email, phone number. Is it wrong to take all that? I hope not. Yeah, it hates everything that I'm doing. First name, last name, no. Good. We're going to continue on. In this new function, you want to create a new contact object like Bob, Mary. Instead of having this object's property values be filled with strings, though, set them to the appropriate function parameters passed in. Hold the phone. So instead of first name, it's going to be a function. Is that what's going down? Function, my name, parameter 1, parameter 2. What now? Oh, with parameters, I was getting confused. Gotcha. Okay. Yes. This is the Earth. The very nice Earth. Good. Good, Steven. Nice. Nice. Okay. There we go. Look at that. That doesn't make my soul feel itchy at all. Much better. Much better. Alright, there we go. There we go. Crises averted. Ta-da. Okay, okay. So, there's that. We figured that out. So we've got function... Oh, no. Hold on. What's it called? Function add? Function add. First name, last name, email. Hello. Not good. We got sidetracked. Phone number and blank. Okay. In this new function, you want to create a new object like Bob and Mary. Instead of having this object's property values be filled with strings, though, set them to the appropriate function parameters passed instead. So now it will be... So this is going to be the new object. Is that what we did in JavaScript? Like when it's a blank person? New, what is it? Variable, person. equals new object, like so. And then we have first name equals all this nonsense. Is that what they want me to do? Because that doesn't exactly feel great either. First name's already defined. Damn. Missing blank before statement. Okay, hold on. This is all falling apart. In the new function, you want to create a new contact object. So maybe I would just want new contact instead of object. New contact. Like Bob and Mary. Instead of having this object's property values be filled with strings, though, set them to the appropriate function parameters, which seems relatively okay. You don't need the new up and object. It does it automatically, doing variable person equals blank. Interesting. So variable person. Oh, and was I missing those? That's why it's angry. No, perhaps not. I guess I don't need that. We're gonna get you back here. Variable person equals. No, we still need a closing curly brace. Yours isn't needed though. Okay, there we go. That seems good. There's no error message. No error messages there. Look at how the Mary object is instantiated. Mary object. Oh, gotcha. Okay. And now that's what we have down here, minus the strings, of course. It's just the, I guess the variable, or the properties that will be filled in by whatever info gets dumped in here. Okay, so there's that. Add this new contact object to the contacts array. So we're going to be adding person to the array. Does that make sense? Person. Was I actually supposed to name this person? Like, do we have to name a baby? Is that basically what's happening? Should this be Kyle or something instead of just person? Kyle? Or is this just like any John Doe or Jane Doe they find on the street? It seemed like it was just a generic streetwalker that didn't have a family. That's why I thought they wanted it to be just something general and vague. Create a function, add with the blank. This new function, you want to create a new contact object like Bob, Mary. See, like Bob and Mary. So I thought I couldn't. This new contact object, add whatever first name, last name, phone number, and email arguments you like. Yeah, no, this is just a placeholder to add whoever. Yeah, you need to push the new person. You need to push the new person to the contacts array. Gotcha. Also, hi to correct. Correct. Oh, correct. Clever. Fun. Hey. All right, so we're pushing. We're shoving person into add this new contact object to the contacts array. This is not going to end well. So to push them to that, we need, what do we need to do? To push them through, we're going to have to do something. Death. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Well, it's either one of two things. It's either I'm overthinking it or not thinking at all. So, you know, one of those two. I don't think we're actually adding it here. I think we're going to be adding it too. So it would be contacts, like down here. Sort of like this. Copy. Like if I had contacts, no. Contacts dot length equals add? That doesn't feel right either. This is all wrong. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. We're going to destroy that. We're going to get rid of all this noise. I just want to see what the error code is. It looks like there are only 2 items in the contact array. Correct. Okay. So let's just throw person in there. Person. Save and submit. Still looks like there are only 2 items in the contacts array. Damn. We're going to get rid of that. Oh, add. Add. That's what we wanted. Add. No, no, no. That's okay. That's okay. Call add with whatever first name, last name you want. Add this new contact to the contacts array. Death, death, death. Call. I still feel like it's close to this though for some reason. But contacts. We'll see. We'll see. What's going down? Contacts dot push person. Oh. So, question. Is push a thing? Is that just like a known thing you can do? You can dot push things? Is that a thing? You can just dot push? Is that like totally common knowledge? Is it so obvious they don't explain it? Because I don't think I've dot pushed anything yet. I've dot lengthed things, but I haven't dot pushed anyone. So contacts. Arrays have a native function called push. Okay, that makes sense. That would have been cool if they said so. It's the same concept as dot length. Yeah, no, I get that there's the like the built-in keywords that do stuff. I figured they maybe would have mentioned it in here or an example. Probably not. I think I'm expecting too much from Codecademy. So contacts, not sure why you haven't learned that since it's pretty much 101. Yeah, well, this is Codecademy version, so this is the confusing anybody's choice learning path. It's been brutal. Not sure why you haven't learned that. Oh, I'm not sure why they haven't learned it to you. Yeah, right? Any of those, anything flies here. Contacts dot, we were gonna just do your handy recommendation dot push person dot push person. But remember, person is scoped inside the add. So yeah, I was just thinking that. So would it be add? Push is taught to you in Codecademy. Took that course a long time ago. Do you recall where? Because I've been stuck in Codecademy for the last 87 days. They may have gone over it, but maybe that was in like the or the learn JavaScript. They just haven't referenced push for the rest of JavaScript when they go through all the other stuff. They probably did go over it. My guess is it was in the first Learn JavaScript course instead of the larger JavaScript. But anywho, back to me struggling, right? Push it from inside the function and keep it contained. Way cool, code matrix. Donka. Alright, better yet, push it from inside the function, keep it contained. You got it. You got it. Copy. Call add with whatever first name and last name, phone number, email, argument. Make sure you call the function to check if the new entry is added. Delete any other function that logs output in the console, i.e. the search function. Well, we don't need to delete the search function. We can just comment it out, right? Although there's no, search Jones. Well, yeah, we'll just comment that out. So, add. Let's do file. The hell, they have two separate. Yeah, no, I dabbled with Codecademy back when they only had, I don't know, they've updated a lot of stuff, but Codecademy has been around for like 5 years. I did the HTML, CSS, and like the beginning parts of JavaScript, I don't know, like 4 years ago, and that was like all the coding premise that I really had. Then in my last job, I used SQL a lot more, but that was just basic querying data from the server, just basic backend query stuff, nothing special. So yeah, that was like all the really coding stuff I had. But anyways, I do think they did mention .push. Yeah, Pistachio, I remember when Codecademy was free. That's the other thing, is that I'm doing all the free stuff in Codecademy. I'm not quite ready to... I'm pretty sure there's better free resources elsewhere. It's just they do cover a lot of content. I wish they would cover C++ and all that stuff, but they don't cover any of like the C languages. Joined 5 years ago. Yeah, no, this is actually a second account that I made because I wanted to show just stat wise like where I could progress over the course of a year or however long it takes for me to get through. The other thing was that I didn't want to I know I could do like 20-hour binge sessions of coding and just like power through Codecademy, but I feel like a lot of people don't just have 20 hours to kill for like weeks and months on end to just power through coding. I feel like this is just a more realistic representation of, oh, I've got time to do one section of activities and I'm going to do 6 things and be done, which we're on the edge of finishing this. But yeah, anywho. Good times. Undefined add on line 48. Adding newly created person to the contacts array. Part of the add procedure, right? Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Do add names. Kyle. Oh, and I need to have all that. First name will be Kyle. Do I need to add it as strings? I probably need to add it as strings. Kyle, Jenkins. Email. Kyle J. at gmail.com. And those should probably be strings as well. Phone number. Oh. Beautiful, beautiful phone number. We're going to take basically one of their phone numbers and copy. We're just going to change it to 9s. Beautiful, beautiful. Hold on. Somewhere between 40 and 50. Can you find it? My guess is it has to do with contacts and most likely indentation. But we're going to find out as it all falls apart here. Looks like you didn't add a person object to the end of your contacts array. White space doesn't matter. Good to know. Don't mind me. Digging back through the chat. Not sure where I even learned that. Remember, person scope inside, not available. Push is taught. You want to push. If you want to push it outside your function, you need to return the person from the return. No, wait, hold on. It's adding the return. You need to return the person. Let me see if I can find the section, or better yet, push from inside the function, keep it contained. Adding the newly created person to the contacts array is part of the add procedure, right? Undefined add on line 48. Push. Oh. Person. Fuck. So person and return. Is that a thing? Do people do that? I feel a little bit better about that, but not a whole lot. My soul feels still slightly itchy looking at all of this nightmare. Undefined, the hell they have two separate JavaScript. Yeah. Preview way back, remembered 5 years ago. Taught me, there's one site taught me 80% of what I know. Coding, mostly paid. Some courses are free. Laravel, plenty of stuff. Larcast, Whitespace, doesn't matter which is preferred actually in production. Usually minify your entries, JavaScript files so everything is on one line, saves a lot of kilobytes. The problem is on line 48. Look at what you're trying to push exactly. Well, no need to return, but if you want the function to return some data, so say you want to store the newly created person in an array, you can call the function like variable new person, add name. So if add returns something, it will be stored in new person. And question. So I know I can do that. Do I need to, and should I do that? Or is that what needs to be done? So say you want to store the newly created person in an array. You call the function like variable new person, add name. So if add return, okay, no, that is what I would do. So get rid of return because that's crazy. And you were saying within the function, there's two ways. One, return person from the function and call add doing contact push add stuff, or do it like you have it now. You can block links. Block link. Oh yeah, dots are important. Yeah, that was. I still need to change that. Here, hold on. You know what? We're actually gonna do that. We're going to. Don't mind me. We are asking a lot of my computer already. The fact that I have to open up another window and change this. Hopefully the stream doesn't come crashing down. Bear with me. If it does, I thank you all for your participation. Greatly appreciated. We're going. It's in security, right? Please load Twitch. Okay, we're in Twitch. Security settings. Videos. Settings. Security. Change stuff? No, is it a channel and videos? Profile. Videos. Here we go. Activity feed. God, it's really thin. My computer's like bogging out. Block hyperlinks. Delete links in chat. Undone. Save changes. There we go. Okay. Give that a shot. See if you can throw in. Remember step 5. Oh god, remember step 5. I don't even know what that means. Link deleted. Why link delete? I just changed it. It's beautiful. It's a glistening unchecked box. I'm looking at it. Oh, son of a... Why is it still there? Hold on. Save changes. We'll get there. Hold on. Tried it again. I tried it again. Jump to a different thing. Different page. Oh, little computer. It sounds like I have a Black Hawk helicopter taking off from my desk. It's like just shaking. You guys should see this. The little fan is trying its hardest. Okay, we went profile, going back to channels and videos and settings. Yep, nothing. Maybe it can only be changed when I'm not. It's now free. It remembered it. It's unlinked. I bet it's probably because I'm streaming, but that really doesn't make sense. Let me try dot. Although I should be able to dot stuff .com. Now I know that doesn't make a difference because it's me typing. Son of a... I can see yours aren't coming through. I don't know, that's soul crushing. I don't know. We'll try. Let me close this. Maybe it will be better after the stream, or if you have to leave chat or something. God, maybe I have to leave. I don't know. We're getting close. Point is, this is painful. We're on niche, and I'm an idiot. It's not that the code, I mean, the code is probably questionable, but I'm what's wrong with the code. It's me. I'm what's broken. So we need to be adding something. So is it the add part? Is it... Get rid of that. Even submit. Looks like you didn't log Kyle Jenkins to the console. Do you want to remember the call list after adding your new contact? Maybe. I feel like I would want to. Remember 5. Remember 5, which is preferred. White space doesn't matter. JavaScript doesn't care about indentations. You can write anything on one line, which is preferred actually in production. Minimize your entire file. Problem is on line 48. Look at what you're trying to push exactly. No need to return. If you want the function to return some data, say you want to store a newly created person in an array, you call the function like variable new person add name. So if add returns something, it will be stored in new person. Okay, add returns something. So if add returns something, new person equals add, then name. Variable. Sometimes type too quick. There's 2 ways of doing this. One, return a person from the function. Return a person. Return new person. Okay. Potentially. Or call add, doing contacts.call add, doing contact. That's what we missed. Call add doing contacts.push.add.stuff. Add contacts dot add. Oh, and the dot add. Jesus, I haven't had to use that in a long... Or is this add referring to... This is all fucking nightmare. This is brutal. Becoming a shit show. God. Little kitty, you were so lucky you get to sleep through this nightmare. Contacts. Dot push. No, it's dot push. This is like trying to instruct cats by signal fire. Or by smoke signals. Cats don't respond well to commands to begin with, let alone responding to commands via smoke signals. But that's like where I'm at right now. That's my capacity for success. Ed, we can't even get the right letters down. This is falling apart. This is what it looked like when the Titanic was going down. Kyle and all this stuff. So we added... That's for Kyle, and that's for Kyle's information. This is for add. This is for contacts. I don't know if this is actually needed. I'm not sure what's happening here with this. I think I'm just making things worse now. I'm ruining the internet. I'm ruining the internet. I'm overthinking this and not thinking enough. It's both all at the same time. Step 5 on the left side. So you have everything correct now. All you need to do is read step 5 of the instructions or correctly read the hint that pops up when you submit. Okay, hold on. 5. Make sure to call the list function. Oh. Gotcha. That wasn't like a secret step 5. I thought you were talking. Yeah, go back and add John Doe and whatnot. I thought you were talking about like in the list of your instructions, even though they weren't numbered. I thought you were talking about like comment number 5. No. Pistachio is not talking about comment number 5. He was talking about instruction number 5. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. Good. Spectacular. Okay. Let's try and clean up sometimes it seems like you skip half the sentence. You don't need to return. Okay. Go back and add. So first let me add the list, call the list function. Call add with the stuff and call list. List function. Yeah, that was it. Make sure you call the list function to check if your new entry is added. Delete any other functions that log output, including search. We got rid of that. Brandon Jones Mary cannot read property first name undefined. So I take it I can get rid of this nonsense here. Add. Keep contacts.push person inside. You got it. We are keeping contacts.push person inside the function. You have the following error in your code. Type error, cannot read property first name undefined. Contact.push person inside the function. Check. And outside the function, just do add John Doe blah. Close. We're gonna do line 51 is all messed up now. Gotcha. Yeah, Doctor, I was noticing the ad issue too. There was a there was a good 7.5 minute period of just sheer confusion. This is all going away forever. That was bad. Don't mind that. And we're gonna clean all this up. We're gonna do John Doe. Kyle was an ass, so we're gonna do John Doe. JD at Gmail. Okay, cool. And we're gonna have add. There's this. Here's that. Keep contact outside the function do. Okay, good. And we're gonna give that series stand. Pistachio, the fact that you were able to save that ship from crashing entirely is pretty ridiculous. Yeah. This was a very close call. That was impressive. That's a serious hat tip to you, Pistachio, for pulling that off. All right, badge earned. If only there was a way I could send this to Pistachio. We should print it out and get it laminated, put it on a plaque. All right, building address book. Survived. They need a lesser badge. We made it through that nightmare. I know white space is our friend in JavaScript, but we're gonna clear out the bottom nonsense underneath list. Once more, close, save and submit, success, beautiful. Next. Thing is, Codecademy is trying to teach you stuff the roundabout way, so the official way of doing this exercise is like this. I don't know why it's still deleting the links. I cleared them out. I think probably, hopefully, once I close down this stream and like back out of I'll close everything on my side. Probably close, I don't know if you're watching on your phone or whatnot, but everything should be good. What they want to get to is link deleted is 2. When you do contacts 2, you're creating a new index. Links work for me, you just need to refresh your chat. Oh, interesting, yeah. Mine still shows just a whole menagerie of deleted links. Spectacular. Okay. Good to know. Alright, up next, introduction to objects 2. Let's go back in here. Good. Day 87 is coming to an end. Up next, introduction to objects 2. This is the nightmare that is for tomorrow. A closer look at objects in JavaScript and an introduction to object-oriented programming concepts. Good. More of this. Learn more advanced JavaScripts in our new AngularJS course. We'll see about that. I smell lies. Good, and another 30 seconds for tomorrow. Awesome. Great. Okay, well, let's back out of this. Where does day 87 end? Day 87 concludes with us being 87% of the way through JavaScript, 1,006 points of arbitrary sadness, hurdles in our pocket, with 136 badges. Yay! Woohoo! Alright. Tomorrow. If this counts as fun, it just hurts at this point. Everything hurts. There's no more fun left. But yeah, so that's that. That'll be day 88. Can't wait. Objects 2. Pistachio, thank you again for all of your assistance, and to all the others who stopped by Code Matrix, and, well, there were a lot. There were a lot. Pistachio, seriously though, thank you for all your guidance. That was critical. Alright, good times. Let's back out of this. Little kitty, you ready for food? Stop the stream? Are you sure you want to stop the stream? Hell yeah. Kill it!